Right now, asking for forgiveness. The Wisconsin church leaders now apologizing to anyone who was abused by a member of the Catholic Church. Plus, we're tracking the latest of Tropical Storm Florence out east, the impact it's expected to have on millions of Americans over the week ahead. And it's game day. The Packers kick off in just hours. We'll tell you if quarterback Aaron Rodgers is able to return to the field at Lambeau today.
This is News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good Sunday morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning Sunday. It is 6:30 on the September 16th. I'm Josh Spreader with meteorologist Chris Reese. A very warm day yesterday, not really feeling like September out there, but I don't think people are really complaining.
I know. I'll tell you what, though, it was very warm. In fact, I'm going to show you the highs from yesterday. It felt downright like summer. Some folks made it into the low 90s. Boscobel was the warm spot at 92 degrees. It was 87 for us here in Madison. If anyone was complaining, it was probably me. I thought it was way too hot this time of the year. But nonetheless, it wasn't raining, so I'll take that much. We're going to do it all over again today. Temperatures are already at 58 degrees, and that's just here in Madison. Other 50s towards the lakeshore. You work your way back up towards the north and west again, and they have temperatures that are already starting to approach that 70-degree mark this morning. We will see more of that. Dew points are also in the 50s and 60s. It will increase as we go through the next 12 hours. I'll show you that. First off, temperatures will likely top out right around 86 degrees for highs with winds out of the south at about 6 miles per hour. Dew points will make it into the low 70s. So if it didn't feel warm enough out there, it's going to feel even warmer with those tropical dew points returning to the picture. Traffic-wise, as you are headed out this morning, it is going smoothly. There are no issues to report at all, not in Madison or across Dane County, other than issues that have already been there. But yes.
You know, it was warm yesterday, but you just wait until about 4 months from now, and then you'll be wishing for a day like
We'll
this.
see what we see. I know. We'll find out.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, calm weather and sunny skies here, but a much different picture out east. Florence has weakened to a tropical depression now, but flash flooding and major river flooding are expected to continue over significant portions of the Carolinas. The National Hurricane Center said in its 5 a.m. update this morning that excessive amounts of rain are still being dumped in North Carolina. The effect is expected to be catastrophic. There's now an elevated risk of landslides in western North Carolina. Right now, Florence is about 20 miles southwest of Columbia, South Carolina. The death toll from the hurricane-turned tropical storm has now climbed to 12. The storm has knocked out power to nearly 1 million homes and businesses. Breaking overnight, the Madison Police Department is currently investigating a shooting. It happened in the 4500 block of Cottage Grove Road. That's near the Walgreens there. A 29-year-old man is in the hospital with morning with serious injuries as a result. This information is just coming into the newsroom, so right now police don't have many details. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Madison Police Department or Madison Area Crime Stoppers. This morning, the Archdiocese of Milwaukee is now asking for forgiveness. It's apologizing to anyone who was abused by the member of a Catholic church. Milwaukee's Archdiocese isn't the center of any of these recent accusations, but it held a vigil overnight, saying when one member suffers, they all suffer together. The city's archbishop says he's angry, frustrated, ashamed, and embarrassed by the actions of those in the church that sexually abused members and children. The Catholic Church worldwide is reeling from crisis involving the sexual abuse of minors. In the U.S., a Pennsylvania grand jury report released last month found more than 300 Catholic priests sexually abused more than 1,000 children since 1947.
For that and for those actions, I apologize to anyone who was abused by someone in the church, especially those who were young children. Never should that have ever happened. Never should that ever have been tolerated. Never.
People attending the vigil, which lasted around 2 hours, said they appreciated the Archdiocese for acknowledging those that have suffered sexual abuse at the hands of the church. Right now, regional planners are looking for your help in deciding the future of our area. The Capital Area Regional Planning Commission is asking area residents to take a 10-minute online survey, which prompts them to rank priorities in areas like technology and the environment. Planners say in the next 25 years, Dane County's population is expected to grow by 150,000 people. That's the equivalent of 2 Camp Randall stadiums. So they say it's important to start preparing now.
That's 90,000 homes and maybe 90,000 jobs and lots of roads and schools and police stations, and all that. How that happens makes a difference to our quality of life.
You can find a link to the 10-minute survey on our website, channel3000.com. You're asked to complete it by November 12th. We're told survey results will likely be released next year. 6:35 right now. Local high schoolers are going to be getting a somber reality check this week about the dangers of distracted driving. Edgewood High School is partnering with AAA, the State Patrol, and AT&T for the It Can Wait reality experience. That program will bring students face-to-face with the dangers of being on their phone behind the wheel, including a memorial wall of keys representing lives lost, a display of crushed car parts, and a film about a teenager killed in a distracted driving accident. It's taking place at Edgewood beginning at 10:30 tomorrow morning. New research actually shows 81% of people admit to texting behind the wheel. Happening tomorrow night, the City of Madison's Homeless Issues Committee will be talking about possible recommendations to budgets. They'll also discuss potentially adding a representative from the school district to the committee. District 10 Alder Maurice Cheeks told us right now the committee has one member who's also a teacher, but that's mostly a coincidence. There's representation from city and county leaders plus a police officer. But Cheeks says it would be valuable to have one member focused on students dealing with homelessness. That meeting starts at 6:30 Monday night. It is game day in Green Bay, and when the Packers take on the Minnesota Vikings at Lambeau Field today at noon, here are your 3 things to watch. The big question all week, will Aaron Rodgers play? Well, after returning to practice on Saturday, we're told the quarterback will return to the field. This is according to the NFL Network this morning. It's reporting that Rodgers is still dealing with swelling and soreness in his sprained knee, but he's improved throughout the week. He impressed his teammates at practice yesterday. Rodgers has had all sorts of injuries through his NFL career, but has played through them and played well. We'll see if he can again today. The other injured Packer on offense, wide receiver Davante Adams, is a much better bet to play, we're told. He hurt his shoulder in the game against the Bears last Sunday, but did return to practice Thursday and appears to be ready to go today against the Vikings. Adams is the Packers' best wide receiver, and whoever is throwing him the ball makes the Packers' offense that much more explosive. The Packers will face a huge challenge in the Vikings, whose defense is one of the best in the National Football League. The Vikings beat San Francisco 24-16 in their opener as Mike Hughes ran back an interception for a touchdown. There will also be a debut of quarterback Kirk Cousins into the Packers-Vikings rivalry. Cousins got a 3-year, $84 million free agent contract to join the Vikings in the offseason. Although it doesn't feel like football weather just yet, people have been celebrating the spirit of Oktoberfest all weekend long. Walktoberfest, one of the first Oktoberfest celebrations in our area, is going on this weekend. With beer, brats, and of course polka music, people are out celebrating the state's German heritage. Organizers say it's a great way for the family to spend the weekend.
Just about getting involved with the community, and it's a good family event, and you just kind of casually walk around and hang out with people in the community.
The festival ends today with a home brewing taste test competition. Some weekend street closures continue this weekend in Madison. Due to the Willie Street Fair, Williamson Street will be closed between South Livingston and South Ingersoll from 7 this morning until 10:30 tonight. A handful of other blocks will be closed from 11 to noon for the Willie Street Fair Parade. You can find all of these closures on our website, channel3000.com. Coming up on 6:40 this Sunday morning, and more spectacular weather is ahead for us on this Sunday. Let's take a live look outside right now. Hey, there's Bear the polar bear. Cooling off in that pool. Sounds pretty good. We just can't get enough of that sun, but rain is on the way for us this week. Chris will have those details in his first alert forecast. And a Broadway smash hits the stage at the Middleton Performing Arts Center this weekend. It's Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Our Michael Bruno goes backstage with the Middleton Players Theater when News 3 This Morning Sunday continues.
Good Sunday morning to all of you. We still have our peaceful, quiet weather on tap, which is fantastic. So given that, I do want to go ahead and start everyone with the latest update on Florence, who is now a tropical depression with those winds coming down to 35 miles per hour. Starting to lose a lot of those tropical characteristics, but staying a very heavy rainmaker. We have seen the heavy rain over the same spots. We actually do have another tornado warning. There have been several of these, but here's a tornado warning for the Wilmington area and banded in one of these bands here. There's a fly in front of my face. That is going to go for about the next couple of minutes before they either continue that or that expires. But still, they're bringing this onshore flow of moisture into North Carolina. That heaviest rain now starting to move away from the coast and further inland towards places like Charlotte. That's where they could see 8 to 10 inches or more of rain as we go through the rest of the weekend and early next week as well. So we're going to be watching that heavy rain that is setting up for our friends there. Here at home, of course, it is still quiet. Lots of sunshine out there. 57 degrees. Dew points are into the upper 50s as well. And those winds are calm at the moment. They're going to be turning out of the south at about 8 to 15 miles per hour later on through the day. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s for all of us. 60s as you work your way closer towards the lakeshore, as we go, or closer towards the Mississippi River Valley, that is. Now, as we go through the rest of the day, we'll see those temperatures top out right around 86 degrees. 70s, which is well above average for this time of the year. We won't even make it below 60 later on tonight with that humidity that's going to be in play. Tomorrow we'll see our highs into the mid 80s again, but notice the clouds coming in from the north. That's a cold front that's coming into town. We'll talk about that in a second. I do want to remind you, yes, it will be very humid today as well. We'll see those temperatures making it into, or dew points rather, making it into the low 70s because high pressure is still to our east, sending those winds out of the south, which caused that cold front yesterday to stall out north of us. But that's going to be working its way southward as we go through the week. So we could see rain chances as early as tomorrow night. Those rain chances will likely linger through Tuesday and into Wednesday as well. Then temperatures become much cooler. Behind that, the average is 68 by the time we get you towards the end of the next 10 days. But we'll see temperatures about where they should be for this time of the year with these rain chances going through the middle of the week and towards next weekend, Josh.
I was up at Lake Wisconsin yesterday, and a lot of people are taking advantage of this warmth. I think feeling a lot like summer, Chris.
And I know, and honestly, if you love the warmth, I would get out and take advantage of it too, just because I know the upper atmospheric pattern. And I'll tell you what, in Canada this morning, temperatures started out in the 20s, so fall is on the way.
Okay, all right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, the tale of Sweetie Todd has been retold many times, but most notably in the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical. And now a unique spin on it is showing in Middleton. Our Michael Bruno goes backstage of Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Attend the tale of Sweeney Todd. His skin was pale and his eye was odd. He shaved the faces of gentlemen who never thereafter were heard of again.
Talk a little bit about the music of Sondheim with this. It's so operatic.
I actually was reading about this. I read Sondheim's book, Finishing the Hat, his notes on Sweeney Todd, and he said that the show is, there's a lot of argument about, is it an opera, is it a musical, what kind of music is this? And he said, actually, it's a movie for the stage. And what he said was he was inspired by an old movie, an old horror film where there was just this constant, amazing underscoring. He said, I wanted to write something that, a musical, a stage production that gave us that constant underscoring. So what that does for you as an actor is it gives you so much, even in just the scenes when you're not actually singing, it gives you so much to work off of.
I mean, I think what I've always appreciated the most about Sweeney Todd is that he's sort of the first anti-hero. I look at a lot of what's happened in sort of arts and in theater and all of the sort of dark, dramatic characters, and this is somebody that is plotting murder and horrible, horrible revenge, but you have to find a way to identify with him. And I think that the only way that I've really come to terms with that is that the music is so beautiful and so longing and so passionate that I feel like the audience just has to go along with it no matter what.
Toby is a barker for a street barber, essentially, who's selling a miracle elixir to grow back hair. And it is my character's job to sell that product. Later, through a turn of events, I end up inside of Mrs. Lovett's pie shop, helping her out with the pies.
And what is it about the character that makes her so endearing? Because she's so awful.
She's hilarious. I mean, really, you know, that's the biggest challenge, I think, with her is finding the humor. And there's a lot of it written, but there's little moments, and there are a lot of times when she's sort of sitting reacting and sort of finding that the humor in her in those moments and figuring out how she can live in such a dark and terrible place and want to do such dark and terrible things and still have such a sunny attitude.
What happened then? Well, that's the play, and he wouldn't want us to give it away. Not Sweeney. Not Sweeney Todd. The demon barber of Fleet Street.
You have one more chance to see Sweetie Todd for yourself. It is this afternoon at 4 at the Middleton Players Theater. You can get your tickets online at brownpapertickets.com. 6:49 this morning, building a more perfect union. A pair of coworkers meet through a chance encounter only to realize they've met before in a very different way. It's a story that shows what unites us is much greater than what divides us. It's all ahead right here on News 3 This Morning, Sunday. This morning, we're introducing you to two co-workers at a California children's hospital. Nurse Vilma Wong and medical resident Brandon Seminatori work in the neonatal intensive care unit there. A chance encounter led them to realize they had met many years before under very different circumstances. Maria Villarreal has their story.
My parents would always tell me about how little I was and how scared they were for me.
Born about 3 months premature, Brandon Seminatori weighed less than 2.5 pounds when he was moved to the neonatal intensive care unit, or NICU, back in 1990.
Yeah, you are so big.
Now, nearly 3 decades later, he's treating patients at the same hospital where he spent the first days of his life.
Coming here for residency is just like the cherry on top, honestly. To be able to be a doctor in the hospital I was born in.
He was doing his rounds last month when he ran into a nurse who told him his name sounded familiar.
And then I said, was your father a police officer? And then there was big silence, and that's when he said to me, are you Vilma?
For years, Seminatori's parents had told him about Nurse Vilma. Vilma Wong had cared for him when he was a newborn.
So I actually had to text my parents. I had to be like, so I think I met this person who is the person you keep telling me about. And then they sent the picture.
You see the picture. What was your reaction?
I was in shock. We were just like smiling, and we kept looking at each other and going, can you believe that?
It just didn't seem real. Like, how could this be the nurse that was helping take care of me?
What was it that surprised you most about that picture?
Oh, it's just the hair and the glasses. And he's looking back saying, oh my God, we all have big hair. It's been a long time.
On Sunday, Seminatori's parents had their chance to reconnect.
I'm just so shocked.
It happened at an event the hospital holds every year designed to bring together NICU patients with their doctors and nurses. Seminatori's parents now hope their son can have the same connection with the families he helps.
It's amazing that he did come full circle, but I'm hoping that he will make an impact on future families the way that Vilma has made an impact on our family.
To hear a mom talk about you now, I mean, it's got to feel like you truly made an impact.
It feels
here.
amazing. It's like I can't describe it. It's just this deep joy and happiness.
Some 30 years later, Wong has no plans to retire. In fact, both she and Seminatori hope their fateful meeting will inspire other NICU families to see that the most fulfilled lives can come from the most humble beginnings.
I think he's a role model for a patient. And sometimes it's good to say, you know, I took care of Brandon. He's a doctor. It's just to give him a little ray of hope. In our unit, that's very important.
Time now is 6:56 this morning. There's more to come here on News 3 This Morning Sunday. The day's top stories are next, including the major multi-million-dollar reconstruction project scheduled to begin tomorrow after historic flooding. But first, here's a preview of what's ahead on an all-new For the Record.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Neil Heinen, and today on For the Record, we will talk about Black women's health in anticipation of the 10th annual Black Women's Wellness Day. Black women face unique health challenges, and we'll talk about it with Foundation for Black Women's Wellness founder Lisa Payton Kerr and Foundation team members SSM St. Mary's Hospital hospitalist Dr. Debbie Jones and longtime community members Mary Wells and Corinda Rainey Moore. That's coming up this morning on WISC.
Right now, a worried warning from the FDA about your teens and e-cigarettes, how they're now working to keep them away from minors after a spike in illegal sales.
This is News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning Sunday. It is 7 o'clock on the September 16th. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese is tracking some more sunshine, but a chance of rain ahead. But first, let's get right to what's happening right now. Florence has weakened into a tropical depression this morning, but flash flooding and major river flooding are expected to continue over significant portions of the Carolinas. The National Hurricane Center says excessive amounts of rains are still being dumped in North Carolina, and the effect is expected to be catastrophic. Right now, Florence is about 20 miles southwest of Columbia, South Carolina. Overnight, the death toll from the hurricane turned a tropical storm climbed to 12. The Archdiocese of Milwaukee is now asking for forgiveness, apologizing to anyone abused by a member of the Catholic Church. Milwaukee's Archdiocese isn't the center of any recent allegations, but held a vigil overnight, saying when one member suffers, they all suffer together. The Catholic Church worldwide is reeling from crisis involving the sexual abuse of minors. In the U.S., a Pennsylvania grand jury report released last month found more than 300 Catholic priests sexually abused more than 1,000 children since 1947. Happening tomorrow, local high schoolers are going to be getting a somber reality check about the dangers of distracted driving. Edgewood High School is partnering with AAA, the State Patrol, and AT&T for the It Can Wait reality experience. That program will bring students face-to-face with the dangers of being on their phone behind the wheel, including a memorial wall of keys representing lives lost, a display of crushed car parts, and a film about a teenager killed in a distracted driving crash. That's happening at Edgewood at 10:30 Monday morning. A first alert traffic note for drivers today near downtown Madison. Due to the Willie Street Fair, Williamson Street is closed between South Livingston and South Ingersoll until 10:30 tonight. A handful of other blocks will be closed from 11 to noon for the parade. All of this information can be found on the Channel 3000 mobile app. 7:02 is your time right now, and another very summer-like day out there, Chris.
That's right. It will be another one. And for reference, I want to go ahead and show you guys some of the temperatures that we experienced yesterday. Folks made it into the 90s, especially to our west. Lone Rock and Mineral Point at 90, Boscobel at 92. Madison stayed at 87 degrees yesterday for our highs, but that's out of July. In fact, that's always above average. In fact, 15 degrees above average for this time of the year. 57 this morning as we begin to do this process all over again. Dew points are into the mid and upper 50s as well. Back towards the west, that's where temperatures are almost systematically a little bit warmer given the setup that we're in. You have temperatures near 67 in La Crosse, or at 67 in La Crosse. Dew points are also into the low and mid 60s, and we'll see those increase once again going through the day. Our temperatures will top out right around 86 degrees in Madison before we begin to cool things off by 5 o'clock or so. But dew points are going to make it all the way into the low 70s. So that air will feel very tropical in nature. In terms of traffic, as you head out on your Sunday morning, here's the Beltline at Rimrock. Very few cars on the road there. In fact, traffic all across Madison and the rest of Dane County does continue to run smoothly this morning. Josh?
Thank you. 7:03 is your time right now. Breaking overnight, the Madison Police Department is currently investigating a shooting. It happened in the 4500 block of Cottage Grove Road. That's near the Walgreens there. A 29-year-old man is in the hospital this morning with serious injuries. This information is just coming in, so right now police don't have many details. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Madison Police Department or the Madison Area Crime Stoppers. Well, in the aftermath of record-breaking flooding, reconstruction of 2 Dane County bridges will officially begin tomorrow following the approval of nearly $3 million in emergency funding. Governor Scott Walker approved the $2.8 million. The bridges on Highway 14, which are used to access Black Earth, were destroyed by flooding in August. Construction is set to finish mid-November. The DOT looked at putting in a temporary bridge, but determined it would delay the completion of a permanent replacement. The East Madison Habitat Restore has a new goal in mind, hoping to raise enough money to build 20 homes in the area over the next few years. The Restore is celebrating 17 years this weekend, throwing a birthday party yesterday to celebrate. The store sells lightly used household items, with all of the proceeds going to Habitat for Humanity. The organization builds homes in the community for people who otherwise can't afford a home. A woman hoping to raise money for Alzheimer's research has created a rockin' yearly tradition. This is video from the 4th annual concert to #EndAls. 6 years ago, Karen Wheelox was her mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So as a musician herself, she decided to organize a concert series raising money for her participation in the Walk to End Alzheimer's.
My mom doesn't always recognize me. She needs a lot of help with different things. And just knowing that there is support out there is great, but also hoping that something can be done so that that her and the future generations can, not have to worry about it.
All of the musicians involved have personal connections to the disease. The money raised will go to the Walk to End Alzheimer's. That's October 7th at Memorial High School. Well, this morning we want to say thank you to everyone who has helped donate coats and winter accessories to our Coats for Kids campaign. We're nearing 1,000 donated coats so far. The Community Action Coalition says the greatest need is for kids' coats right now. They need all sizes, from infant snowsuits all the way up to teen sizes. If you have extra winter items, you can drop them off at any Clinky Cleaners or Lucier Family YMCA in Dane County. On the Health Watch this weekend, the Food and Drug Administration is cracking down on e-cigarette manufacturers. It's hoping to keep the products out of the hands of teens. The agency sent out more than 1,300 warning letters and fines this week to retailers and online shops recently caught selling to minors. The targeted companies now have 60 days to respond with their plans to curb illegal sales. A new study finds a bacteria that is often undetected in the birth canal can be passed on to babies during pregnancy and birth. French researchers say babies born with the bacteria commonly found in the urinary tract can develop respiratory problems early in life. They suggest antibiotics as a safe treatment. And another study looking at high blood pressure finds home monitoring helps keep it in check and saves medical costs. Researchers in Texas say more doctors need to include more home monitoring and treatment plans to manage the condition. We're known for our cheese and craft brews here in Wisconsin. The state has a variety of different things made here, but which is the coolest? Voting ends tonight for round 1 of the contest, and we've got Nick Novak here from the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce to talk about some of the early favorites. That's just ahead on News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning to all of you here in South Central Wisconsin. We're waking up to another mild but beautiful day out here. There's plenty of sunshine. If you're just now joining us, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys another update on now Tropical Depression Florence as she continues to turn through South Carolina. She's brought a lot of heavy rain to some of the same areas. They've had catastrophic flooding going through the weekend. A lot of that is ongoing, but now a lot of this is going to move towards the Charlotte area and the western mountains of North Carolina as we go through the coming hours, likely bringing some very heavy rain for them. And given the terrain there, we'll really have to watch for flash flooding along with the potential for some mudslides in that area. So we are still going to see more headlines with the storm as the moisture continues to be pulled in from the Atlantic Ocean. Here at home, though, it is very quiet. Lots of sunshine out there. We're going to keep that sunshine around today. It's also going to be very warm today. 57 degrees to start right now. The dew point at 57, 60s as you work your way back towards the west. La Crosse, one of those warmer spots at 67 degrees as of now, 61 for our friends in Janesville. We'll take you through the rest of the morning and into the afternoon, and that's when we'll see our temperatures top out right around 86 degrees for those highs for a lot of folks today. Then once we cool things off overnight, we'll likely see mid-60s for lows before more mid-80s for those highs tomorrow. You'll notice cloud cover, though, starting to come in from the north. That's a front trying to work its way in here, but until it gets here, folks, it is going to be very humid. We're going to see those dew points up into the low 70s today, which is going to feel downright tropical and oppressive, and that's thanks to high pressure over to our east. It's still sending those winds out of the south. That's the reason that cold front has stalled out to our north, but it will eventually make its way towards the south, bringing with it rain chances, and those rain chances could arrive as early as tomorrow night, and then those rain chances will then linger through the middle and end of the week. However, they'll also bring some cooler temperatures with them as well. So once those rain chances get on through here, expect some of those temperatures to come down to where they should be for this time of the year. I mean, today will be somewhat near 14 degrees above average before finally beginning to cool things down to where they should be. Expect rain chances to really increase on Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday will have good rain chances as well. A break Friday and Saturday before more rain chances towards this time next week.
Well, the dry stretch was nice while it lasted.
It sure was, and thankfully the rain does not look too heavy as of now.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and check out this picture Bree Welch sent us. A beautiful shot of the sunrise right there. Thank you so much for sharing, Bree. What does your morning look like? Be sure to post a picture or on our Facebook page, Instagram, or Twitter, and use that hashtag MyNews3Morning. And that's how we share our favorites right here on the program. From a bottle of red wine made in Barneveld to targets from Janesville made to look like dinosaurs, there are plenty of cool things made right here in Wisconsin. But which is the coolest? Nick Novak is here of the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce joining us this morning. And kind of a cool thing you guys have going on the third year you were talking about.
Yeah, the third year for the Coolest Thing Made in Wisconsin contest. We're very excited to be partnering with Johnson Financial Group again on this contest. And as we sit right now, we have about 26,000 votes in already, and voting continues until 11:59 tonight. And this is going to be the first round. This round will determine the top 16 coolest things made in Wisconsin.
So we mentioned a couple of them there at the top of the interview. What are some of the other things out there right now?
Oh, there are so many things. There's sparkling water made in Watertown. There is John Deere tractors made in Horicon. There's even food trucks, custom food trucks made all the way up in St. Germain, Wisconsin. So there's so many great products made here all across the state of Wisconsin. And the Coolest Thing contest really allows us to showcase this vibrant manufacturing industry that we have.
So third year, are they kind of the same items every year, or do you get kind of new ones in the mix as well?
You know, we have almost 10,000 manufacturers in Wisconsin, and so we're getting so many different products every year. I really think the top 16 this year is going to be a lot different from what the top 16 looked like last year. So many cool products. It's a really cool contest, and we're excited for it to keep going.
Why do you think this is such a unique idea to do here in our state? Obviously, we're all very proud of the state of Wisconsin.
Well, Wisconsin has a lot to be proud of. As I said, we make a lot of really great products in the state. Manufacturing is our #1 industry, and that's the reason that Johnson Financial Group, our sponsor of this program, decided to get into this, because manufacturing has so many careers available all across the state of Wisconsin, great family-supporting careers. And not only are they careers that you can support your family, they're careers that you can make some really cool stuff. off. So we want to showcase both sides of that.
So today is the last chance to vote. If people are interested, what do they have to do?
So folks can go to madeinwisc.com, madeinwis.com, and they can vote. There's a little button that says vote right there. It'll give about 160 products that are current nominees, and they can vote until 11:59 tonight, and we'll announce the top 16 on Facebook. We'll do a Facebook Live tomorrow on the WMC Facebook page.
That's awesome. So you said 26,000 people have already voted?
Yep.
That's pretty good, but you still got some time to do it, and kind of a unique thing you guys have going on here.
Yeah, we're hoping to break 32,000 votes. That's where we were last year in the first round, and then we'll announce the top 16, and on Tuesday we'll start voting again for the round of 16.
When will you guys actually have the winner then? How long does that take?
So we're going to actually, once we get to the top 16, we go into our Manufacturing Madness bracket. Very similar to March Madness, just a little bit different. And we'll have top 16 going in head-to-head matchups. Those will go down to a top 8 and then a top 4. And then our top 4 will have a popular vote and announce the winner on October 9th at our State of Wisconsin Business and Industry Luncheon right here in Madison.
A lot going on, a lot of fun. All right,
Very
Nick,
much fun.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Again, to cast your ballot of what you think is the coolest thing made in Wisconsin, be sure to head to madeinwis.com. Well, time now is 7:17 this morning. We've now become used to the intense security screenings at airports across the country, but how effective are they? A look at the new facial technology proving some initial success, but also facing some critiques. Thanks for watching News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Good morning. We've had some patchy fog out there in spots, but that fog's starting to lift now. Clear skies above that. Temperatures are into the upper 50s right now. But as we go through the rest of the morning, we'll see them make it into the low 60s and then eventually the low 80s by lunchtime, especially once that patchy fog lifts. By the afternoon, expect highs right around 86 degrees. It'll be a bit more humid as well. Josh.
Thanks, Chris. 21 minutes past the hour. The 9/11 attacks ushered in a new era of security at airports, and now new facial technology is showing early signs of success. But there are critics. Here's Chris Van Cleve.
In the last 3 weeks, new facial recognition technology at Washington's Dulles Airport has caught 2 imposters trying to illegally enter the U.S. Yesterday, it was a woman from Ghana with someone else's passport. Last month, with his real identification hidden in his shoe, a 26-year-old man from the Republic of Congo tried to enter with a French passport.
We're using it for security purposes. We're trying to make sure that visitors actually depart the country timely, but also trying to make sure we avoid any imposters, someone using a document that doesn't belong to them to try to enter the U.S.
Customs and Border Protection is testing the system at 17 airports nationwide. The technology takes a picture of a traveler and compares it against a database of passport or visa pictures belonging to people scheduled to fly that day. It is optional for U.S. citizens. Pictures are stored for no more than 14 days.
The facial recognition is very accurate. Even an older photograph, we're seeing very, very high match rates, 99% plus, if we have a photograph of that traveler.
But there are concerns that may not always be true and could lead to the technology falsely flagging minorities more frequently. The ACLU recently put every member of Congress through a different facial recognition system. 28 lawmakers were misidentified as people who had been arrested. A disproportionate number of those were people of color. Another was Senator Ed Markey.
Go slow, build in the protections. It's better to be able to ensure Americans that their privacy, the privacy of innocent Americans, is not being compromised.
Customs says the system can work in as little as 2 seconds, which should reduce wait times. It's also being evaluated as a possible replacement for a boarding pass, potentially allowing flyers to one day travel with just their face. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington.
Right now, regional planners are using technology and looking for your help in deciding the future of our area. The Capital Area Regional Planning Commission is asking area residents to take a 10-minute online survey. It prompts you to rank priorities in areas like technology and environment. Planners say in the next 25 years, Dane County's population is expected to grow by 150,000 people. That's the equivalent of 2 Camp Randall stadiums, so they say it's important to start preparing now.
That's 90,000 homes and maybe 90,000 jobs and lots of roads and schools and police stations, and all that, how that happens makes a difference to our quality of life.
You can find a link to the 10-minute survey on channel3000.com. You're asked to complete it by November 12th. We're told those survey results will likely be released next year. 7:24 is your time. Still to come, a check of today's top stories, including the overnight shooting that landed 1 man in the hospital with serious injuries this morning. And we have an answer to one of the biggest questions of the week. Will Aaron Rodgers play today? Those details when News 3 This Morning Sunday returns. There will be some new faces on the sidelines of today's NFL games as several male dancers join the mix. The push to add more male cheerleaders while tackling how female dancers are treated as well.
This is News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning Sunday. We are just before 7:30 on the September 16th. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese is tracking some more sunshine, but a chance of rain ahead. But first, breaking overnight. The Madison Police Department is currently investigating a shooting. It happened in the 4500 block of Cottage Grove Road. That's near the Walgreens there. A 29-year-old man is in the hospital this morning with serious injuries as a result. This information is just coming in, so right now police don't have many details. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Madison Police Department or Madison Area Crime Stoppers. Happening tomorrow, reconstruction of 2 Dane County bridges will officially begin following the approval of nearly $3 million in emergency funding. Governor Scott Walker approved the $2.8 million. The bridges on Highway 14, which are used to access black earth, were destroyed by flooding in August. Construction is set to finish in mid-November. The DOT actually looked at putting in a temporary bridge, but determined it would delay the completion of a permanent replacement. And happening today, due to the Willie Street Fair, Williamson Street will be closed between South Livingston and South Ingersoll until 10:30 tonight. A handful of other blocks will be closed from 11 to noon for the Willie Street Fair Parade. You can find all of these closures on our website, channel3000.com. And as we mentioned earlier, today is your last chance to vote for the coolest thing made in Wisconsin. Among the products are our list from the area: a bottle of red wine made in Barneveld, a specialized AED produced in Deerfield, targets from Janesville made to look like dinosaurs, and gift boxes filled with products from the Badger State sold out of Mount Horeb. The contest is put on by the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce. If you'd like to vote, visit madeinwis.com. The first round of voting ends tonight. Send it over now to meteorologist Chris Reese, who has some more sunshine, but also some more rain on the way there, Chris.
That's right. There is more rain on the way, but I wish the sunshine was just made in Wisconsin, because it's absolutely awesome out there to have this gorgeous weather, these gorgeous sunrises as well. The temperature 57 here in Madison this morning, 59 for Lone Rock. Viroqua at 64, and La Crosse is at 67. Dew points are also higher across the western half of the state this morning. That's where you're finding a bit more in the way of the humidity coming into the picture. We're about 7 degrees cooler in our dew points here in Madison, but they're going to rise into the afternoon. We'll likely see those dew points in the upper 60s and low 70s. So at that point, the air is going to feel extremely humid. Temperature-wise, we will see them rising from 62 to 81 by lunchtime. And then as we get you towards the peak heating of the afternoon, do expect those highs to top out right around 86 degrees. Traffic-wise, things do continue to run smoothly. We're getting a few more cars out there as your Sunday morning continues to get started, but do know that we are not expecting or seeing any major issues or delays this morning.
All right, Chris, thank you. Packers fans are hoping for a better outcome today after a tough loss for the Badgers this weekend. The BYU Cougars were not messing around Saturday at Camp Randall, scoring to tie the game at the half. Then in the fourth quarter, with the game tied again, BYU nails a 45-yard field goal to take the lead. With less than a minute left in the game, the Badgers got the same shot, but their 42-yard attempt was no good. The Badgers lost their first game since the Big Ten championship last year with a final score of 24-21. Well, it is now game day in Green Bay, and when the Packers take on the Minnesota Vikings at Lambeau Field at noon, here are your 3 things to watch. The big question all week has been, will Aaron Rodgers play? Well, after returning to practice on Saturday, the quarterback will return to the field. This is according to the NFL Network. It's reported that Rodgers is still dealing with swelling and soreness in his sprained knee, but he improved throughout the week, practiced yesterday, and impressed his teammates. Rodgers has had all sorts of injuries through his NFL career, but has played through them and played well. We'll see if he can do that again today. The other injured Packer on offense, wide receiver Devontae Adams, is a much better bet to play. He hurt his shoulder in the game against the Bears last Sunday, but did return to practice Thursday and appears to be ready to go today against the Vikings. Adams is the Packers' best wide receiver, and whoever is throwing him the ball makes the Packers' offense that much more explosive. The Packers will face a huge challenge in the Vikings, whose defense is one of the best in the National Football League. The Vikings beat San Francisco 24-16 in their opener as Mike Hughes ran back an interception for a touchdown. It'll also be the debut of quarterback Kirk Cousins into the Packers-Vikings rivalry. Cousins got a 3-year, $84 million free agent contract to join the Vikings in the offseason. For the first time in NFL history, male dancers will be cheering on the sidelines during today's games. Of the 32 teams in the NFL, only 2, the Los Angeles Rams and the New Orleans Saints, are featuring male dancers next to females. The change comes as the NFL faces criticism on how female cheerleaders are treated and paid. Here's Jamie Yukas.
Napoleon Janice and Quentin Perrone are mastering all the right moves.
Had you ever thought that you would be one of the first male cheerleaders in the NFL?
No. For me and other guys, it just wasn't encouraged or talked about.
I've always been a little daredevil, not going to lie. But I think the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward.
The reward is a history-making turn, as the men are dancing the same routine traditionally performed by an all-female squad.
You still get giddy, it's crazy.
I was standing on the field, and I closed my eyes, and a breeze came by, and I heard the crowd roar, and I was like, ah.
The Los Angeles Rams tell us tryouts have always been open to everyone. But Quentin and Napoleon, both classically trained dancers, were the only men who ever showed up. And the ladies say the guys fit right in.
To have the first male cheerleaders officially on an NFL team, that's huge. Rams, we're making some moves.
The move toward gender inclusion comes after a season of lawsuits and complaints filed on behalf of NFL cheerleaders. 6 former Houston Texans cheerleaders claim they endured brutal working conditions.
We were bullied and we were body shamed for $7.25 an hour.
And a former Miami Dolphins cheerleader claims she was discriminated against based on her religion. Others are fighting double standards tied to their weight and wardrobe.
I felt humiliated and ashamed of my own body.
Sports writer Nancy Armour believes the time has come for teams to prove how much they value their cheer teams.
NFL teams have long said, oh, these are important members of our community, but the outfits and the roles that they have them play on Sundays haven't always reflected that. What better way to say, no, we are not trying to objectify our cheerleaders than by having men and women do it.
I quickly just glanced at Twitter, and there are people that think that you guys shouldn't be out there, that it should be the girls.
Nothing you can tell me that is going to hurt because I have the support from my friends, family, and my team. That's all I need.
The guys are downplaying their groundbreaking. But Quentin, who teaches dance, is proud to be making room on the sidelines for a new generation of cheerleaders.
For me to be able to inspire my kids and say that, honestly, you can really do anything.
Jamie Yukas, Los Angeles.
And continuing our football focus this morning, for many Americans, game day means it's time to tailgate. 50 million people do so every year, fueling up for game day. Next, we're joined in studio by Chef Mandy, who is celebrating National Chicken Month with a hearty and delicious recipe perfect for game day. Thanks for watching News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning. We're seeing lots of sunshine out there above the fog. Temperatures are into the upper 50s this morning. We're going to see them take off into the lower 80s by the time we get you towards lunchtime and eventually top out right around 86 degrees or so around 4 o'clock. Then we'll begin to cool things back down into the 70s as we go through the evening. There will be plenty of sunshine to go along with that, but with the warmth and the humidity, we'll see some clouds developing this afternoon as well, though we are not expecting any rain then. Those rain chances will increase as we go through Monday and into Tuesday. I'll have the latest breakdown on those rain chances coming up in just a few minutes. Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. 7:40 is your time right now. An estimated 50 million Americans tailgate every year. A third of them don't even attend the game. September isn't just the start of football season, it's National Chicken Month. So this morning we're joined by Chef Mandy Cullen, who's combining the two with a delicious buffalo chicken dip recipe perfect for your pregame celebrations. And you were excited this morning because you've got your jersey on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to hear that Rogers is playing.
Yes, you got your news right here. And hey, we're going to get our appetite all taken care of as well.
Yes, oh my goodness. So like you said, this National Chicken Month. So we are going to celebrate. It's also the height of tailgating season. So almost as important as going to the game, it's what food you're going to bring to the game.
I think the food's more important myself.
Yeah, a lot of people care about what we got going. So we've got a really simple buffalo chicken dip here. I got some shredded chicken, really simple, just bake it, shred it up. You can also buy it like in a can if you want, if you're in a real pinch, but I like to do it. It doesn't take a lot more time and it's a lot, I think, better. So we mix up some shredded chicken and then very, very straightforward. You want to have your cream cheese softened because it makes for a lot easier stirring. So you go add a packet of cream cheese. And I like to make things a little bit healthier. So I have the less fat version. You got to take the healthy, alternatives when you can. And then we've got a yogurt dressing here. So this is ranch, and it's just yogurt based. Again, a little bit healthier because when you're indulging in all of this delicious stuff,
it's still good, right?
It's still tasty, and it's a little less. You feel a little less guilty eating it. So we add in the ranch dressing, and then of course, to make it buffalo, you got to add in some hot sauce. So we have a half a cup of each of those. And then I have a half a cup here of some shredded cheese, and I used Munster because it's super melty, and it makes it nice and ooey gooey. So you mix all that up, you get just a little shallow baking pan here, pop it in the oven for 20 minutes-ish. Just want to heat it through. The chicken is already cooked, so you don't really have to, you just want to heat it through. And then you can serve it. You can serve it with chips. You can serve it, of course, if you want to go a little healthier, you can serve it with some veggies. But if you're not in a place to be able to make, you're running out the door, you're trying to get to the game right away, there are a couple options for healthier tailgating snacks. So if you think through a little plan before you leave the house, grab some almonds, you can grab some string cheese for, to get you fueled up for game day. I should mention there's a really good option. It's called Pro Sticks. They're like grilled chicken skewers that you can just buy. Really great, they have 3 really good flavors. 20 grams of protein in each stick, and that really keeps you fueled for the day so you can cheer on your favorite team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, very easy. And I think that's the nicest thing is you want to have good food, but you want to have it easy. And it looks like you have a lot of good tips here.
Of course, yeah. And you can find the Pro Sticks at Woodman's, and then also you can learn more about me at nourishmentpc.com.
Awesome. Well, hey, go Pack, go.
Yeah,
and
go Pack.
I think we're going to start indulging in all this.
Yeah,
this looks
let's
delicious.
dive in.
All right, thanks so much, Mandy. You can learn more about Mandy at her website, like she mentioned, nourishmentpc.com, and we'll put a link to this recipe for the delicious buffalo chicken dip up on our website, channel3000.com. Time now is 7:43. Another copy and paste forecast here in Madison. Sunny skies, summer temperatures, and nothing really to complain about. But we are tracking some rain in the forecast for the week ahead. Chris is taking a closer look at the chances when News 3 This Morning Sunday continues. But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV. We'll be right back.
Good morning, folks. Here's the latest with now Tropical Depression Florence. Her center of circulation is now just south of Columbia. She's got winds of 35 miles per hour. A lot of that heaviest rain now starting to move westward. We're going to see that beginning to impact the Charlotte metro area and the western part of North Carolina as we go through the rest of the day. Here's the thing. This is very slow moving. It seems like the rain has been in the same spot since Thursday night. And here we are Sunday. And now the rain is going to move west, and it's just going to hang out there going through Monday and into Tuesday. So we're going to watch this flooding threat now become more inland, and there's still a lot of moisture from the Atlantic Ocean being pulled in to North Carolina with this system. So still be on the lookout for a lot of flooding that's going to develop in that area. 57 degrees for us here at home. Lots of sunshine out there. The dew points are in the upper 50s this morning as well. You work your way over towards the west. That's where temperatures are a little bit warmer, 67 in La Crosse. In fact, there were some heat advisories for the Twin Cities metro area as of yesterday. 59 for our friends over in Juneau, 62 in Watertown. But you're seeing temperatures that will gradually warm as we go through the morning. We'll top out right around 86 degrees for those highs into the afternoon. It'll be very humid with that. Then temperatures will cool down to the mid-60s tonight before the mid-80s again on your Monday. But you'll notice clouds starting to work their way in from the north on Monday. That's a cold front starting to work its way into town. But before that cold front gets here, we will be very humid. Dew points will be in the upper 60s and low 70s this afternoon, which will feel rather tropical. That's with high pressure to our east, sending those winds out of the south, keeping a lot of that moisture in play. We have a front that's stalled out. That's the one that's going to be on the move as we get you into Monday, and then we'll begin to see more showers and thunderstorms developing. The first chance will be Monday night into Tuesday. Greater chances for rain will be in the picture Tuesday and into Wednesday, especially as we go through the middle and end of next week. But with those rain chances coming in, we'll see temperatures that are cooler will finally begin to be around average. The average high for this time of the year, 72 degrees. By the time we get you towards the end of the 10 days, the average high right around 68. And we still don't necessarily see temperatures that are that cool as of yet. So we're still running with those temperatures that are somewhat above average, but we'll get a few closer to average days in there with those rain chances coming back in, along with some of that cooler air. Now this air gets to moderate a little bit, Josh, but I've seen the air mass coming our way in Canada this morning. There are lots of places with temperatures that were in the 20s.
Oh boy.
We will not get that cold, but it will cool down just a little bit. Pet walk. This is Gomer Pyle, Triggs, and Lodi. Man, gotta love it. I wonder if he drank the Snapple or not. Probably not. But
Probably
you know,
not.
those are some good treats.
Hey, and we want to
good
thank
drinks.
our viewer yesterday for sending us the cat with the
Yes,
leash on
walking
it.
the cat. That was awesome. I will take cat walking pictures and video all day. Even dog pictures. We see them every morning, but you just can't get enough nowadays.
Post it to our Facebook page.
Yep.
We love it. Gives us a smile. All right, Chris, thank you so much. Be sure to stick with News 3 and Channel 3000 today on our news at 5:30 and 10. There's a new trend of buzz in the Madison area. Urban bees, why more people are seeing the benefits of farming them. But first, meet Earl, the dog with a bucket list. How his owner is hoping to make the most of Earl's time left on Earth by taking on some adventurous, big and small. You're watching News 3 This Morning, Sunday. And welcome back. We all have things we want to do and places we want to go before we die. So why can't animals have that too?
That's right, Josh. Mary Coleman introduces us to Earl, the dog with the bucket list.
Meet Earl. Just looking at him, he appears to be a happy, loving puppy.
He chews on things. He's not housebroken. But he's just a love bucket.
But there's a lot more to his story. At 4 weeks old, Earl was surrendered to a San Jose shelter with what volunteers believed was a cleft palate. But the truth was much worse. Earl had been a victim of animal abuse. His foster mom says he may have been dropped or kicked. The abuse broke his jaw and left him with a collapsed trachea and a hole on the roof of his mouth.
He can't eat hard kibble or wet food because he could aspirate it into his lungs while he's eating, so we have to wet down his food.
Earl's airway is now only 25% of what it should be, and with his other health issues, vets say Earl won't live long.
You know, we're still holding on to a miracle, but fully prepared. You know, we've been told that he's not going to make it.
That didn't stop Crystal Cook. She decided to foster Earl to give him the best life, no matter how short. She also knew she would have to explain Earl's condition to her son Max, who had 4 years ago experienced a very personal loss firsthand.
I've gone through this already because my dad died, and we talk about that every day.
We know how important it was to bring in this pup and be able to give him love. And I mean, I think the exact words of my son were, we need to show him that he's loved before he goes to doggy heaven.
And now, the Cooks are doing just that, taking Earl on the adventures of a doggy lifetime, creating a bucket list of items to check off one at a time. Everything from getting samples at Costco to hitting the boardwalk, and one of the most memorable, being a CHP officer for a day. Earl has even experienced his first dance and discovering things most humans aren't aware of.
I had no idea, honestly, that there was a puppuccino at Starbucks.
Crystal hopes this experience will also show people how important it is to foster and rescue animals. The family has fostered nonstop the past few years, something Max says his dad would be proud of.
We got to foster them, and then he's fostering them up there too, so he really knows how fun it is.
It's clear, though this dog's days are limited, the love for him is not. And whenever little Earl crosses over, he'll do so with a full tummy and an even fuller heart.
I love the idea of a bucket list, and I actually created a bucket list when I moved to Wisconsin, and yesterday I crossed one of the items off. I went on the Merrimack Ferry up on Lake Wisconsin.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful day up there, and there were so many people out on the lake, not really something you'd really think of in mid-September.
But nonetheless, it feels more like mid-July at this point. Temperatures are going to be very warm today as well. We're going to see more sunshine with highs right around 86 degrees. Then September comes back into the picture. Once we get some cold fronts to come through Tuesday and into Wednesday, temperatures are going to go back down to about where they should be for this time of the year, though still a couple degrees above average. In fact, by the time we get you towards next weekend, the average high is 68 degrees. So we are enjoying this warmth while we have it as temperatures gradually trend downward over the next couple weeks.
All right, Chris, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us as we go. We'll leave you with Barrett cooling off in the pool.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.